Hello.
Hang on. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
So we're on Sardinia now.
Yes.
We've left Sicily.
We feel like we've come through the iron curtain. No, not the iron curtain. Like a magic curtain. And we're somewhere totally different. It's quite different, isn't it?
It feels really different.
It feels very different.
It feels,
yeah.
There are still hills and mountains here, but they're calmer.
Yeah.
And
it feels more Mediterranean, Spanish, Greek.
Yeah. There's a bit more space here.
Yeah.
And so we left. We had a few more adventures on Sicily before we left. We visited a town. Oh, I can't remember its name now.
Where they made Cinema Paradisimo. Is that the one?
Yeah. So we visited the town where they filmed the movie Cinema Paradiso. And since it's been filmed, I think it's been used for a lot of other films as well. But that was a really interesting place,
amazing.
Really lovely
One of
place.
The most amazing places.
Yeah. And
only small.
We can't remember the name, so we're going to put it up on screen. But that was a really pleasant place as well. But again, the landscape around there, extremely mountainous, extremely steep hills. We went past some mafia country. But I think the mafia is much less active now. I think
Corleone.
Yeah.
And Prizzi.
Yeah. And I think mafia much less active now in Italy. Much more, the organised crime maybe doesn't touch the ordinary citizens perhaps in quite the way that it used to. So obviously that's good and good for us. Mm-hmm. But we came through Palermo as well. So thanks to the sat nav, because
I had my hands over my eyes. It was like one of those games where you have to fit all the cars in together. It was a nightmare. I had my eyes closed. I hope Jonathan didn't.
Palermo's a big city. It's 800,000 people, so it's, I don't know, is that the size of Manchester or something like that?
Huge.
But it's squashed into a much smaller space, so they're tiny little streets. Even their main streets are quite narrow.
But when you came off the motorway, there were no lanes.
No.
Everybody was just going everywhere.
Which is a theme in Italy.
But
I think they're very individual society. You can do what you like, I think.
Oh yeah, they totally ignore the road signs. Nobody passes any road signs.
But yeah, so we found a nice place to stay. That was our last night in Sicily, and then we had a 12-hour ferry trip. And that passed, we had a cabin, which we could take the dogs in with us, and that was a really good call because we just rested quite a lot, and that was fine.
It was a daytime sailing, which was very unusual.
Yeah, so we had a 12-hour journey that was in the day, which was a bit frustrating. It would have been better to be at night, but that's fine. Unfortunately, one of the things that caused us some stress, we've had a bit of stress the last few days for one reason or another, but we're both absolutely fine. But one of the things that caused us some stress, or me some stress, was that our crossing was a 9 o'clock crossing. We had to be at the ports at 7 o'clock in the morning, and the clocks changed on that day. We travelled on the Sunday, so the clocks were changing, and I was trying to work out whether our clocks would change automatically on the phones, and if they did, what time I should set it for, and were we going to end up an hour later, an hour earlier than we needed to be, or whatever. And we actually managed to have 3 clocks in the van showing 3 different times at one point. So it was a bit confusing to know what the time actually was, and we only actually found that out just before we came into port in Sardinia, when Bernie went and asked the woman on reception, what is the time? So anyway, we got there, and then when we came in, we went and stayed somewhere, and someone beeped at us on the road, and I thought, why are they beeping at us? And the reason was, I discovered the next day, because none of my backlights were working. So that apparently that is illegal, apparently. I mean, who'd know? But anyway, fortunately, what I solved it with was a bit of sandpaper, because it was the terminals on the lights in the actual back, and for some reason, just by chance, I think it happened to be the back lights that they affected. They didn't affect the indicators or the reversing lights, but the back lights, quite important. So anyway, we sorted that out, bit of stress, and then
It was the first time we'd driven at night, so I think.
yeah, so probably it hadn't really come up as a problem before that. But anyway, here we are in Sardinia. It's a very beautiful place.
Beautiful.
We're going to be putting up some footage as we go, and yeah, we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
So
I did try swimming, but there were loads of crabs in the water, so I was a bit anxious about sitting down. So I got out again.
we've had a few crab experiences actually, one way or another recently.
Yay.
But
We haven't cooked any, unfortunately.
no, wouldn't do that. My goodness.
I would if I got them.
Armour-plated spiders, giant armour-plated spiders. That's how I look at them. But anyway, yeah. So we're going to be showing a bit more footage of Sardinia, I'm sure, as we go. And yeah, I think that's
it.
where we're at now.
Bye bye.
See how we go. Okay, bye bye.